Welcome to another episode of the Out of Office Club. For the past couple of days, I've been thinking a lot about what it takes to actually start living as a digital nomad and kind of what needs to happen for people to finally take that step. Because I know that it can be tough to decide, okay, now I'm going to go and travel full time, or now I'm going to actually live as a digital nomad and put in effort to find remote work or work for myself. So today I wanted to go more into the signs, like to know when you're actually ready to live as a digital nomad, when you're ready to leave or go on that trip or be an actual digital nomad. Small quick life update. I am still in Siargao. I would say for the past week, I've been playing a lot of paddle. It's been raining a lot. Right now it is dry. Let's see for how long though, because it's been raining for the past, I think 36 hours, nonstop. They were definitely right when they said it was a wet season here. It's not the most fun, but I found a lot of work to do. I have a nice little homestay here where I can chill and work from. The Wi-Fi has actually been pretty decent here too, so I really can't complain. So yeah, life here has been good. It's warm, it's nice, the food's good. Can't complain, apart from, a bit less rain would be nice. But let's talk about when you would be ready to be a digital nomad or start traveling full time. Because I know that many of you that are listening, that's probably your goal. You want to have this kind of lifestyle where you can combine work and travel. And I know many of you, also from messages that I get and comments, have been thinking about it and really like the idea, but might be a bit stuck in your current lifestyle, or just don't really know where to start, and you're not sure if you're ready. And that's what I want to talk about, because I feel like that is very different for everyone, and it is more of, sometimes it's just a decision that you have to make, and it's not something that you probably ever will feel completely ready for. Because I think what I see a lot of people do is they'll say that they want this lifestyle, they'll put certain things in action, but then they'll also self-sabotage on certain other things that then make it difficult again to leave. Someone will say, no, I really want to do what you do, yet they then sign a lease for 6 months. Or they then entertain the idea of getting a job in a certain city, which then kind of defeats the purpose, and actually takes you a step back, which I feel like a lot of people do out of fear, because those are decisions that give you more stability, which again, I so understand the appeal of that, but that is something that you kind of have to let go of if you want to be a digital nomad and travel full time. That stability has to go. And I think if you start noticing that you're making more and more choices, not based on stability, but more on the freedom that you're craving, you're heading in the right direction. And I think a lot of people also confuse the feeling of being not ready, which is nervousness. I was very nervous to actually go full time. And to travel full time and to let all sense of stability go. That wasn't because I wasn't ready to do it. I felt very ready, but I was just nervous. And I think a lot of people confuse that. They think now I will do this after, or I'll do this when I earn more, or when I'm older, when I have a partner, or when I've traveled more, and I think that is not always the right decision. I don't think there's a certain steps that you have to have completed to say, oh, now I'm ready. If you understand what I mean. There's not a certain income goal you have to hit before you're ready, or to say, no, I first have to have traveled to at least 10 countries before I'm ready. Also, that I think is just not really how it works. For me, what happens is I had already been, sorry if there's any noise, I am next to a road and the scooters and tuk-tuks here are so noisy. But for me personally, I had already been working online for 4 years for myself. My income had gotten quite stable at that moment, and I still felt very nervous at going actually full time and being a digital nomad. So it didn't even have so much to do with my income. It was more of a confidence thing. But I did realize at some point that the way I was living was making me so miserable. And I realized, because I lived in Munich in Germany at the time, and I had everything that I was supposed to have. I had my apartment. It was small, but it was nice, and I liked it, and I had decorated it, and I made it my own, and I really liked what I had there, and I liked my routine. I also had a partner who lived very close by, who I saw almost every day. I had a good, close group of friends in Munich, and still I was unhappy. I will say that it was never really my dream to live in Munich, in Germany, but even then, I had everything I was supposed to want, and still I sat there feeling so empty and feeling like I was missing out. I didn't feel like where I was and the life I was living was what I was really meant to be living, if that makes sense. It didn't feel like mine. It felt like this was what I was supposed to do, and it was comfortable and it was nice, but it wasn't for me. And it did take me a while to realize that it just I wasn't living my life. I was just living the life other people had and the life that basically my partner at that time had. And that's why I was there, not because I really wanted to be there. And it took, again, some time to realize that. But if after day in, day out, you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, working hard, working out, seeing friends, I had a partner, I had a stable remote income. I did everything I was supposed to do, and I still felt unhappy. I realized, okay, I need to change. And after speaking with friends and even a life coach, I think at some point, it just became very clear that I wasn't happy with the lifestyle itself. Everything was fine. I just didn't really want to be there. And I didn't feel like I was getting everything out of life that I wanted to get out of it. And for me, travel was just such a big part of that. Seeing different places in the world, having that freedom, meeting different people, having a bit more excitement, not really knowing what my day-to-day is going to be like or where I'm going to be next week. I like that instability in my life. And for me, that said a lot. And again, I still didn't feel like I was ready, even though I had already traveled a lot before. I was just nervous. But that is completely fine. I think switching your lifestyle, regardless if that's from traveling to staying put or from staying in one place to traveling, is going to be a bit nerve-wracking. But if you also have this idea that you're being held back with where you are and you're just not that happy, even though you've got everything you're supposed to want, that might be the only sign that you need to actually change something. Because of that, I've actually also been working on some new things to help people get there quicker, because I know that especially going from a 9 to 5 or from a remote job to working for yourself and making remote income can be scary and confusing, which is why I've set up a new ebook that kind of goes over the whole plan. All of the different paths that you can take, from remote work to freelance to content creation or selling digital products. And they explain what best to do on each type of platform for each kind of path, how to do it, to make the first 1,000 euros. Just 1,000 euros, because that will give you all the confidence, the frameworks, the first experience that you need to then keep building. And that's usually what people need. They just need a first push to go, to get that confidence that they can make this lifestyle work before they then go. So yeah, for me, I started with one client, and I think they paid me 300 euros a month. And then I got a second client that paid me, I think, also 300 a month. And on retainer, which was perfect. And that was it. And that was not a lot of money. And of course, that's also why I didn't start traveling immediately. I stayed in Munich. But that was all I needed to kind of see, I can make this work. I can do this. And that grew and grew and grew. until I was, or felt ready and really felt like I need to leave now because I'm going to be so unhappy if I stay. If you're curious about that, you can find it on my website, stellasentiero.com. I'll also put it everywhere in the captions or in the links. But everything's on my website, basically, which is just my name, stellasentiero.com. So yeah, if you are right now listening to this and thinking, oh, but my life is fine. It's fine. I've got everything I want. I shouldn't be complaining. This is completely fine. Is that all that you want, though? Do you just want it to be fine? Because, I mean, I was telling myself that for a long time. Kind of being in denial, thinking, no, but it's fine. This is, I've got everything I want. I've got everything I need. I shouldn't be complaining. It's comfortable. It's nice. But if I was honest with myself, I mean, was I happy? No. At some point, a song came on, I think. There's multiple, but there's a couple songs, and I think in one of them it just said that about the feeling of like not feeling alive. And I remember just crying to that, and I was like, something is wrong. Like, I shouldn't feel this deeply unhappy with a life that on paper is perfect. So again, I think it's once you realize that step to saying, I don't want a life that's just fine. I want a life that's amazing, that makes me happy, that actually excites me. You're ready. You're ready to go and actually put in the effort to build this lifestyle, which I know is not easy, and I know it's not going to happen from one day to the next. And I understand you can't just give everything up and go, but you can slowly start building it, because it does take conscious effort to build this lifestyle, to switch your life from that stability to freedom, which is a very different way of living. I have all the freedom. I have almost none of the stability. So it's just a switch that you have to make in your life. And that is also what I teach with everything I do. All of my content on my website, all the free resources that I have, my ebook, my course, everything is about how to actually build this lifestyle. And there is no cheat code. There's no quick way to do this. But it is possible. And I feel like if I can do it, then everyone can do it. You know, I'm making this work. I've been making this work for 2 years. And even before that, I traveled a lot while I was working for myself. Just not full time as a digital nomad, but I was still traveling a lot. So that is why I now help other people achieve this as well, which I personally love doing, and it's really nice. Next to, of course, just my normal job. I'm a graphic designer, for those of you who did know. So yeah, if you're listening to this and it's resonating with you, then you're definitely in the right place. Again, everything that you need is on my website. I highly recommend you to check it out. I don't want anyone to settle for a life that they think is fine. I want you to get the life that actually excites you. And that doesn't mean that you have to do this forever. I might get sick of this in 4 months, maybe in 4 years, I don't know. But it's still worth it. Even if you do this for a year and just had the best year and then decide to go back to that stability, you still did it. And you still really tried. And you took on an adventure. And you took a risk in yourself, which I think is always worth it. So, if you're here, then I think that is probably you. Have a look on my website. You can also subscribe to my newsletter. I share remote jobs and remote work next to travel tips and deals every week, which could be a really good resource. There's more on my website again. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, comments, fears, doubts, leave a comment or send me a DM on Instagram. I generally read almost all of them, or at least I try to. So let me know what you think. And then I hope to see you again next week. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.